¿Qué pasó, pinche perro? It's your homeboy Quetzalcoatl hitting your bitch ass up with another video. On today's edition of the Fuck Your Life Boxing Show, we're going to talk about the Tavares Cloud versus Bernard Hopkins post-fight. A fight in which Bernard Hopkins put up a masterful motherfucking performance versus Tavares Cloud. Going into this fight, I really thought this was going to be a much tougher fight for Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins was coming off of the loss versus Chad Dawson. And in this loss versus Chad Dawson, this was actually the first clear defeat that I have seen Bernard Hopkins in since his loss to Roy Jones. When Bernard Hopkins fought Joe Calzaghe, I thought Bernard Hopkins had won that fight. I thought Bernard Hopkins had won both fights versus Jermaine Taylor as well as versus John Pascal. But when he fought Chad Dawson the second time, because the first time it was that fucking shit with the fucking shoulder injury, which was some bullshit, especially if you ordered it on pay-per-view. He was mad as a motherfucker. The second fight, you saw that Bernard Hopkins was a step slower than he was about 2-3 years ago. And you began to actually see his age in the ring, and Chad Dawson was able to pull out a clear victory. You know, it was a close fight, but Chad Dawson was the clear winner in that fight. And I thought that Hopkins was now on a bit of the decline. He should probably, you know, watch out who he's going to match up with, if he's going to even continue to fight, you know, for that much longer. I thought that this was going to be probably his last fight if he wins this fight or if he loses it. But as you saw, you know, Bernard Hopkins still had a little bit left in the tank. Tavares Cloud, on the other hand, was also coming off of a loss in my eyes. You know, he got the victory on paper versus Campillo, but if you saw that fight, you saw that Campillo thoroughly outboxed him and deserved a victory. I think Hopkins saw that fight and saw some of the things that Campillo had did versus Tavares Cloud that were effective, and things that he felt he could implement into a fight with Cloud. And I thought he was going to be able to do it. You know, I had Bernard Hopkins in my prediction. I wasn't able to do the prediction video because I've been busy as fuck, you know. But my prediction was Bernard Hopkins, but I thought this was going to be a much tougher fight. And it turned out that Bernard Hopkins just completely outboxed him, you know, won basically every single round. Cloud landed maybe 3 or 4, you know, good shots in this fight, and that was pretty much it. Everything was pretty much insignificant. Bernard Hopkins completely nullified Tavares Cloud's power, his pressure. I just wasn't expecting Cloud's boxing limitations to be such a key part of the fight. And you could see the loss of confidence and determination in Cloud's face as the rounds went by, and Bernard Hopkins was just doing his thing. This was a classic Bernard Hopkins type of fight. This fight was fought at his pace. He was basically doing what he wanted when he wanted to. And all props in the world to Bernard Hopkins, who once again becomes the oldest boxer to ever win a world championship at 48 years old. And it's just amazing what he's doing right now. You know, it's historical. I think you could truly say that Bernard Hopkins is a legendary fighter for the things that he's accomplished in the ring. He's a sure first ballot Hall of Famer, and he deserves all the credit in the motherfucking world. You know, I'm giving mad props to Hopkins because I really thought this was going to be a tough fight. And, you know, he just worked motherfucking Cloud. I will be bringing more videos in the future. I'm going to be dropping that Mike Alvarado versus Brandon Rios prediction soon, as well as the Robert Guerrero versus Floyd Mayweather news with Canelo and all that shit. It's just that, as I said, you know, my schedule has kind of changed, so I've been mad motherfucking busy. But it ain't motherfucking over. Quetzalcoatl is still here. Quetzalcoatl is motherfucking here to stay. As always, if you like this shit, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is your homeboy Quetzalcoatl, signing the fuck on out.